Hi everyone, this is SteemDRIce here casting a game for the Southeast Asia Esports League, or SEAL, between two diamond level players. Bottom left we've got BSoDKaiseR spawning as the orange Terran, and in the top right, cross positions on this map, we have Notorious spawning as the purple Zerg. Now, again, these are two diamond level players. They're not tip-top masters. They're not the best players in the world. We won't see something crazy. We won't see insane plays from these two players. But hopefully we'll get a fun game. This was played on the C server right after the patch came out that introduced these new maps to the Blizzard map pool. And hopefully we'll have some fun here with this cast. So, as we can see, no pool yet. Nothing crazy coming out from the Zerg player. We should probably see a hatch first, especially in these positions, but of course Notorious doesn't know that it's these positions yet. Second Overlord scout in the bottom. Checks there, no, nothing, and over here the drone scouting in the other direction. A wall off on the lower ground for KaiseR. It is tight if you put a depot here, barracks here, another barracks here, and then a depot here to make it completely Zergling proof. KaiseR checking the top left. They work high five. We see no gases yet for KaiseR, so it's probably going to be a fast expand or a 2-racks aggression. Very popular build. Very strong build, especially against a hatch first, which it seems. Yes, it's what Notorious did first. Hatch first into extract, and we're probably going to see a spawning pool on 14, if not 15. Drone now coming in. Spots the wall off on the low ground. And KaiseR's probably going to get inside the main. Yeah, he's going to get inside the main. KaiseR's sending out another SCV now to build another barracks. There we go. And another supply depot. And Notorious going to see that there's no gas yet for KaiseR. Immediately alarm bells. He's seen one barracks, so it's likely going to be Terran's got a couple of options here. 1-rack's fast expansion, and he doesn't see the second barracks. So, immediately pops another Marine, and Extract the Steel. Extract the Steel to stop Banshees, to stop large mech plays, and the like. Notorious's hatchery, almost finished. Food's even. Spawning pool going to finish about the same time. Transferring drones down now. And KaiseR, will he... Where's that Marine going? Where the heck is that Marine going? He spots it, and there goes the bunker. Now, notice it's a very small choke here, so this one bunker will cover everything between. But there is a gap here, I believe, for Zerglings to pop out, and there's obviously a gap here. And Notorious spots the bunker and comes out and is going to try and deny it. We have one Marine, and it gets cancelled, and the SCV dies, and this Marine will be heading home. Very nicely done by Notorious, but built maybe a few too many Zerglings. Is getting the Zergling speed now, it's halfway done. And we've got an expansion command center coming out for the Terran player. And he's completely walled off, so this is a safe expansion. Now, the interesting thing about this Zelnag tower is Zerglings on that side can't attack stuff on this side, so this Marine will be able to attack, and look at that, cute little Zerglings running around, trying to get in, but unfortunately, Notorious saying, ah, damn it, lol. He's annoyed about the tower. More Marines popping down for the Terran player, double gas coming up. Likely going to see a Marine tank from the Terran. Floating quite a few minerals. Again, these are only diamond level players and not your best players in the world. He leaves a supply depot down. Does he see he sees one Zergling. Then again, it is a diamond level play. He might not have his eye on the minimap the whole time. Running up cross map now. Might be going for a bit of aggression play, but 2 spine crawlers going down from the Zerg play, and that will probably be the end of that if he does try it. Running up now, speed Zerglings coming up to the Zelnaga tower. They're going to spot the Marines, and we're going to see an aggression play from the Terran player. And immediately in the production tab, we see an extra 2 Zerglings being constructed, an extra Queen, but still more drones. Notorious not overreacting to this. As soon as these spine crawlers finish, it's going to stop this aggression dead and extract. It's going to take down one spine crawler while it's still building. Going to take out the takes out the queen, and he's going to come up here trying to wedge himself into an area to reduce the amount of surface space that the Zerglings can attack, but it's no good, and Notorious will easily clean up this attack. I'd say it's about even in terms of traits. Notorious didn't really lose anything other than a couple of Zerglings. He did lose an early queen. That will probably be very important, but he's getting a Spire now, and we're likely going to see Mutalisks. More Zerglings popping up now, and a second Spinecrawler coming down. We see down here in the bottom left a couple Marines, and not much else. Factory finished, Tech Lab going down on the barracks, Tech Lab going down on the factory, and an Engineering Bay. We're seeing constant SCV production? No, not really. Never mind me. The expansion finished, and BSoDKaiseR embarrassingly only one harvester on that refinery. He's going to be wondering later on why the heck he has no gas. We see Notorious in the bottom, floating Overlord, and he's got strong center map control with these Zerglings, preventing KaiseR from moving out to take that tower. We're seeing nothing but drones coming out from the Zerg player, and we see a Spire started for Notorious, so we're likely going to see Mutalisks, and probably not Infestors too quickly. And more Extractors going down for the Zerg player. Scan in the main, and KaiseR sees the Spire, and we're likely going to see missile turrets. Yes, missile turrets going down straight away everywhere in this base. Might be a bit of an overreaction, but you never know how many Mutalisks the Zerg player is going to get. Floating a lot of minerals now, popping out tanks, and his macro slipping quite a bit. We don't see seed researched yet, and it's not even in the research pane right now. Oh, there it goes. +1 weapons on the way. More turrets going down. KaiseR must really hate Mutalisks. We see Zerglings here. Well, still keeping map control. Does KaiseR know about the stud? No, he does not. And we see creep spread from the Zerg player using this queen's extra energy to generate creep tumors. Very good idea. Gives him complete map control, map set awareness if his creep extends far enough. And we see more tanks, more Marines popping out for the Terran player. The macro of the Terran player is not that great. Then again, as I've said, it's only a diamond level play. And here we go. He's moving out now, and I think, yes, this wall-in blocks off tanks. So he's going to have to lift off and land somewhere else in order to let his tanks out. But now, what that means is his wall is no longer Zergling proof, so I wonder what we're going to see from the Terran player. But, Zerg player pulling back now, takes a look at the gold, takes a look at gold here, 7 Mutalisks in production, 2 Zerglings on the way, more Marines, more tanks coming up for the Terran player. We're going to see Terran pushing out with Medevac, decent amount of Marines, 2 tanks, into the middle to take central map dominance, and he's going to be pushing up right up this way now. Does he know about the third? No, he still does not know about the third. Could see some better scouting from the Terran player, but again, it's probably enough to serve him, and he's going to run that Medevac straight into the Mutalisks. Banelings finishing up for the Zerg player, and we're going to see, oh, run straight to the Banelings, and Notorious turns around, he's gonna clean, takes out a siege tank, takes out a second siege tank, and he's gonna clean up the rest of these Marines. Or not. Takes down a queen. 2 Marines left over for BSoDKaiseR, 2 Mutalisks left over for Notorious, and KaiseR would be wise to pull back right now, and he does so, but there's another smaller army at home waiting for him. Comes back, probably going to come back to the tower. Notorious, 28 Zerglings in production, 4 Mutalisks, and a queen. These Mutalisks haven't really been able to do anything at the moment because of the constant aggression from the Terran player, but after that exchange, we should be seeing the Mutalisks going out to do a little bit of harassment. These Zerglings, however, tied up resources, could have been drones, but it's not entirely a waste because of the decently sized army at home for the Terran player. We see now BSoDKaiseR taking a third in the bottom position, and the Zerg will want to expand soon. KaiseR still has no idea about this base, but it's not got many drones up. It's been up for a while now, but it still hasn't been mining for that long. And KaiseR moving out again. The Terran player must really hate the Zerg. Moving out into the center of the map with 3 tanks, and a handful of Marines, and 2 medevacs. We see a honeycomb of turrets going up everywhere for the Terran player, and his main's almost mined out. His natural still got ways to go, but hunting overlords now with this Viking, and moves to the edge of the creep. And takes out that creep tumor, and we're going to see now if he's going to overextend. If he has to siege up now. He has to siege up now, or else it's going to be, and he sieges up. The Mutalisk's going to fly around, probably try to pick off a couple of siege tanks. Marines sticking close to the tank, or not. But it's okay, the Mutalisks did not loop around in time, taking out an overlord. And we see him running straight into Stim Marines. Not the best move from the Zerg player. Long range mining to 3rd up now for the Terran player, expanding while he attacks. More Marines coming out. Macro slipping a bit for the Terran player. We see a lot of banelings produced from the Zerg player. Speed is done, and we're gonna wait here and see what the Zerg player does. It's completely in his ballpark. We see him running out now. Gets a couple hits on the tanks. Doesn't lose anything in return. Runs some sacrificial Zerglings straight into the siege line. We see now Terran taking out an overlord, and banelings rolling in. A bit of an attempt at a split by the Terran player, and it's enough to take out those units. The siege tanks helping a lot with those banelings. More reinforcements pouring in now for the Terran player. Another couple Marines, a tank, and more Marines in production back at home. Notice there's no reactors on any of these barracks. The Terran player has been constantly producing out of them. Well, not entirely constantly, but he's attempting to constantly produce out of them. Rallying up now into the natural of the Zerg player. More Marines coming out, clearing up some creep tumors. Always a good move against a Zerg player. Still doesn't know about this 3rd. It's still not entirely mined. It's still not entirely mining yet, though. Because of the constant aggression from the Terran player, we see now 7 Mutalisks in production. And more tanks on the way. Popping up now. Good amount of Zerglings, currently. We see 18 Zerglings, 12 Mutalisks against 21 Marines, 5 siege tanks, and a Thor. Moving up into center field. Sieging up now from the Terran player. Unsieging, spreading out his tanks. Cutting off the 3rd from the natural, albeit not entirely purposefully. Extra macro hatchery in the main for the Zerg player. Who is also supply block. See a baneling rolling down on a couple of good shots off from those siege tanks. Mutalisks clumping up now, going to attack around the side, and Thor here to drive off any stray Mutalisks. Running in to attack this Viking. Scanning to make sure he knows where the opposition is, and now he does know about this extra hatchery on the side. 4th base going up now for the Terran player. Good move while he's got the Zerg player contained, and banelings rolling in, taking out every single Marine, and these tanks and the Thor are goners. Mutalisks running in here to clean everything up. These medevacs should fly out, and yes, he does not get the spine crawler. Marines running back now. Thor coming up in support, gets a couple shots off on these Mutalisks, and the Terran player should turn around and go home. But 4th base up, operational for the Terran player. Main mined out. Main almost mined out for the Zerg player. Natural not looking too good, and the 3rd base still fairly good. Natural almost mined out for the Terran player, and 3rd still looking fairly decent for him as well. Should really transfer those SCVs over to the 4th.